Welcome back. The head of the ICAC has denied there were any political considerations when they recently decided to drop the agency's top investigator, Rebecca Lee. Simon Pei insists the move was purely due to Lee's lack of performance. Winna Wong tells us more.
In a last-minute meeting with the press this afternoon, the commissioner of the Independent Commission Against Corruption tried to explain the story behind Rebecca Lee's recent dismissal. Simon Pei said when former ICAC operations head Ryan Wong retired in July last year, the agency could not find a suitable candidate to take his place straight away. So it ended up appointing Lee as acting head of operations. Pei said he recently reviewed Lee's performance and decided her performance did not meet the position's requirements. He decided to terminate her role and arrange for her to return to her previous position. Lee has since resigned from the ICAC following her demotion. Reporters asked Pei what exactly Lee did wrong.
I will not comment on the assessment, and because this is, I think, this is personal for Ms. Lee.
Pei added that normally he would not discuss personnel changes within the agency, but he's noticed great public interest on the matter and wanted to prevent further speculations. Since the announcement of Lee's dismissal earlier this month, there have been many rumors surrounding the decision. Democratic Party member Lam Cheuk-ting, who is a former anti-corruption investigator himself, says it may have something to do with her investigation of Chief Executive Leung Chun-ying. Leung is accused of receiving millions of dollars from Australian firm UGL when it bought out DTZ Holdings, a company of which he was chairman at the time. Pei rejected claims today the CE had anything to do with the ICAC's latest turn of events.
I have said this is my own judgment and my decision, and I will not comment on any case under our investigation.
Lee will officially be replaced by Ricky Yao on the 18th of July, ending her one-year career as the top investigator of the anti-corruption agency. Winna Wong, TVB News.
Former Birmingham City Football Club chairman Carson Young has to finish his 6-year jail term after the Court of Final Appeal dismissed his appeal against his conviction for money laundering. Young was found guilty 2 years ago of laundering more than $700 million through 5 bank accounts between 2001 and 2007. Adam Hsu reports.
The district court convicted Young in 2014 of 5 counts of laundering more than $720 million believed to be illicit gains. He was sentenced to 6 years in jail. Young's subsequent appeal was turned down by the Court of Appeal. After spending a year behind bars, Young was granted bail last year to await the decision by the Court of Final Appeal. But a panel of 5 judges dismissed the appeal unanimously. The judges ruled that according to Hong Kong's Organised and Serious Crimes Ordinance, the prosecution does not have to prove the money laundered is in fact criminal proceeds. It only needs to prove that Young knew or had reasonable grounds to believe the money came from an indictable offence when he dealt with a fund. The judges went on to clarify that means anyone looking at those grounds objectively would believe that Young's funds were illegally obtained, adding it seems unlikely that an innocent lottery winner would come under suspicion. Young's counsel also argued in the appeal that the 960-something bank deposits made by Young should be treated separately. But the justices denied there was duplicity of charges, saying no prejudice has been caused to the appellant by grouping the deposits into 5 counts based on similar nature. All reasons for Young's appeal were rejected. Chief Justice Jeffrey Ma said Young would have to complete the remaining 5 years of his original sentence. Adam Hsu, TVB News.
4 police officers will face disciplinary review after the police watchdog reviewed the wrongful arrest of an autistic man last year. Caleb Leung has more.
An elderly man was beaten to death at a basketball court at Mei Lam Estate in Tai Wai last year. Police later arrested an autistic man and charged him with manslaughter, and further questioning revealed he is an inmate at a rehab center. However, evidence found later suggested the wrong man was arrested as he was taking medicine at the center when the killing happened. The brother of the wrongly arrested man filed a complaint to the police with 11 allegations including fabrication of evidence and unnecessary use of authority. 2 allegations were later classified as substantiated, while the rest were classified as no fault or unsubstantiated. After reviewing the case, the Independent Police Complaints Council overturned some of the findings of the police. The council disagreed that a police superintendent has not done anything wrong by detaining the man for over 48 hours. The IPCC also overturned the police decision of finding the superintendent not guilty of wrongly charging the man with manslaughter. The council said the superintendent will face disciplinary review for his actions, and the highest punishment is dismissal from the force. Furthermore, 4 officers were to receive a warning for misconduct or neglect of duty. They will also face disciplinary reviews. The IPCC said the case was difficult to tackle.
The case is very complicated. 9 officers being complained against and other officers being found fault. We fed the case without the assistance of the complainant. That's the most difficult part.
Meanwhile, a survey conducted by the University of Hong Kong indicated the public's satisfaction of the IPCC has dropped. Out of 1,000 respondents, only 34% are satisfied with the performance of IPCC, which is a drop of 6% when compared with last year. IPCC Chairman Larry Kwok said the council will make improvements. Caleb Leung, TVB News.
British Labour Party lawmaker Angela Eagle is expected to challenge Jeremy Corbyn for leadership of the party. Corbyn has refused to step down despite mass resignations from his policy teams and a no-confidence motion passed against him. He says he has overwhelming support from Labour's grassroots and will fight any attempt to prevent him from entering the leadership race.
I would ask her to think for a moment. This is the opportunity of the party to unite against what the Tories are doing, to put forward an agenda which is different to the austerity agenda being put forward by the Tories, and actually gain a lot of ground. We now have a very large membership. Over 500,000 people are members of our party. Yeah. They've joined for a reason, and they want to see a party that is active all the time, opposing what this government's doing.
We know that in the last couple of weeks, another 120,000 people have joined, and I would make this appeal. If you want a strong and effective, united Labour Party that can be an opposition in our democracy, and let's face it, we need it more now than ever post-Brexit, join the Labour Party and help us deal with this issue.
Solar Impulse 2, the plane powered solely by the sun, has begun a flight from Spain to Egypt as it continues its world journey. The plane left Seville at 6:20 this morning. This marks the 16th leg of the plane's round-the-world trip, which is flown by Swiss aviators André Borschberg and Bertrand Piccard. Borschberg is piloting his last flight, but he's leaving on a high after completing the longest solo endurance flight and breaking Steve Fawcett's 2006 record. With a cruising speed of around 70 kilometers an hour, the flight to Cairo will take about 50 hours. All right, Chris, over to you for sports.
Thanks. Portugal stunned host France 1-0 in extra time to win the Euro 2006 title. Portugal captured its first major trophy despite losing Cristiano Ronaldo to injury in the first half. Jameson Wong has more.
Before the half hour in Saint-Denis, Cristiano Ronaldo out with a knee injury. But his Portuguese teammates rallied behind their fallen talisman to stubbornly deny France the upper hand.